Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So in today's tutorial, I'll be sharing how to draft a wrap top. So this wrap top is going to be an off shoulder. I'm going to draft it on a paper, on my pattern paper before you cutting it out. So the first thing that you're going to do is get your pattern paper, one for the back and one for the front. Then you draw your guideline. Then on that guideline, you're going to measure your we're going to, since this is going to be an off shoulder, so we're going to be marking out of 5 inches. You can do 4 inches, 6 inches, depending on you how low you want it. So from there, I will take my vertical measurements, which is going to be my um, chest line, waistline, and my hip line. Then I draw out the lines. So now we're going to mark out 5 inches on the side. So this will be the depth of the wrap. So if you want it to be deeper, you can also do 6 or 7 inches, but I am using 5 inches for this tutorial. So after that, you're going to draw the line. Okay, so now we're going to take our horizontal lines. I'm just making a mark here. I'm marking the chest line, the waistline, and the hip line. So you're gonna go to your shoulder and divide your shoulder into two and make that measurement there. Then you mark out the 5 inches to get your armhole length. Now on the chest line, you're going to place your bust divided by 2 plus 1 inch as seam allowance. And from there, you use your French curve and connect that measurement to your shoulder measurement. Then on your waistline, you're going to divide your waist by 4 plus 1 inch as seam allowance. You do the same on the hip line. Your hip divided by 4 plus 1 inch as seam allowance. Now on that end of that 5 inch that we made, you're going to come down by 2 inches so you can create a curve. If you don't want to make the curve on the neckline, you can leave it as is and just cut it straight. But I wanted to, kind of have like a deep line going on in the middle of the neckline. So that's what I did there. Then from that 2 inch mark, you can either use your French curve and draw it all the way down, or you can use your free hand and just draw it, or you can use your ruler and draw it all the way down to meet the hip line. Okay, so this is going to be just for the front. That's where the wrap is going to be. On the back, the back piece doesn't have any wrap, so it's going to be cut on fold. So take note of that. So after that, you just connect all your lines. Then on the hip line, you're going to come up by 1.5 inch or 1 inch. It depends on how high you want that. So we're going to be making a curve to meet the hip line because we don't want, to have a sharp edge. So that's what I did there. And then I use my French curve to cover the waist area so it doesn't have a sharp edge. Okay, so again, for the front, you can, make any neckline that you want. For me, I made something like a sweetheart neckline. So now you're going to be cutting the back first before you cut the front, because the front is going to have the wrap, but not at the back. So I'm just going to make a notch to see where I will end my cutting for the back. So the back does not have the 5-inch extension, so take note. All right, so now I'm cutting out the piece for the back. And also on the neckline for the back, you're just going to cut it straight. If you want it to be deeper, you can also do that. Okay, I'm just making a notch to so before I remove my front piece. And now for the back, I'll just go ahead and finish cutting from there. I just draw the line to know where it ends. Then you're gonna just cut it out. So this piece is going to be cut on fold because it's not going to have a zipper allowance. So when you place it on your fabric, you'll be cutting that on fold for the back piece, but the front is going to be cut separately um, because you're going to have two pieces for the front. Okay, so now this is the front and I'm just cutting it out following the lines that I drew. Okay, so now these are the two front pieces, and that's how it's going to be placed on the fabric. When you place it on the fabric, make sure you have your fabric the right side facing up. So you'll see when I show you how to cut that. And I'm just placing the back piece. Remember, the back piece has to be cut on fold. I'm just, demonstrating how it will be when it's all put together. Assuming that you wanted to use a zipper, you first put the zipper allowance on your pattern paper before continuing to, place your measurements. All right. All right, so this is how I place them on the fabric. Like I said, make sure your fabric is right side facing up. And then you're gonna place your pattern paper both for the right and left side. Make sure they are matching each other so you won't make a mistake cutting them out, because it has happened to me before. So um, doing it this way, you know for sure that you're not going to make a mistake. All right. So now we're going to cut it out. Okay, so now this is the two front pieces, and this is the back piece, which was cut on fold. So that's how it looks like. I'm just marking to, I use a chalk to mark where which is the wrong side. So you're going to place the front piece on the back piece, like I'm doing right here. And then you're going to sew by the sides. Then for the front piece, you're going to cut out a strip of fabric so you can use it to make your facing. Okay, so now I am cutting out the belt. I'm sorry, the strip to put on the front. And that's what I'm doing here. You just cut any strip and then you follow the shape of the front shape so that you can be able to sew it down, and then you'll be turning it over to make a clean finish. Just like I'm doing here. So when you sew it and then you'll turn it over and then you'll top stitch the top. And that's how it's going to look like after you sewn that. Then you're gonna do the same thing for the other side too. Okay, so now for the sleeve, I made a balloon sleeve. What I did is I already had an off shoulder sleeve. So what I did is I placed that on my fabric, and at the hem I extended the width of the sleeve because I will use an elastic to gather the hem of the fabric to create the balloon sleeve. So just as I am doing here, you're just gonna trace your regular off shoulder sleeve, then you extend the line all the way to the hem. So for the hem, I used about 15 inches, but it's up to you how much you want to use, depending on how full you want your sleeve to be. So after that, you cut it out, and we'll be cutting out two, two sleeves. Like I'm showing you here, that's where you're going to make your elastic gathering after you've sewn them. Now this is the belt. So one of the belts is going to be shorter than the other. So for the longer piece, I used 40 inches in length, and then for the shorter one, I used 28 inches. So after you've sewn it, you're gonna turn it over, and then you're going to make a slant on one end, and that will be the one for the outside. The one with the straight edge is going to be where you attach on your blouse. So now I've sewn the facing. You're going to leave on the waistline, you'll be leaving an opening, and that's where you're going to place your belt. So now the shorter piece will be on the outside, the right side of the wrap, while the longer one will be on the left side, and you'll also go through an opening on your sleeve. I'm sorry, on your waist. So, and that's how it looks. And this is the blouse. It's all done. Thanks for watching.